Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the day again. I am Minkajikop, your host for the regular show dubbed The Reaction. With me, I feel so happy today because look, I'm seeing the growth and I want to say thank you to every subscriber. Thank you to any individual putting on the like and thumb and then clicking on the notification button every time. Just do well to continue to share the page to everyone, the channel to everybody, that once you watch the video, it don't cost you anything by clicking on the subscription button. We need it, you know it. We need to get going. We need to grow. And I want to believe that you also want to see us grow as well. And thanks for being part of the growth. If you have not watched yet, and this is your first time watching, you are at the right place. And the show is called The Reaction with me, Menka Jacob. Let's move on into today's stories. Our headlines is quite dicey, right? We'll pick on businesses in Ghana, we'll pick on sports across the world. I think then we'll also pick on politics a little bit. I just want to share my reactions on it, and then that will sum up our today's discussion. Please do well to click on the subscription button as I said earlier on, and then the notification button as well. In our headlines, we will talk about the resetting agenda by the NDC, and then we'll talk about how businesses will be faring in the next few days, in the next few months, in the next couple of years in this NDC's tenure of governance. And then we'll also talk about the interim manager for Asante Kotoko. I guess you know who I'm talking about as we speak. He is in the press conference room having his meeting with the press. That will be Coach Karim Zito. And we'll talk about Marcus Rashford plus a touch of Ansu Fati. I guess you know why we are touching on him today. Now let's move on into our quick stories for today. The first story I will touch on will be the resetting agenda by the NDC and then the opposition. In the last couple of weeks, I've seen a certain trend and a certain position taken by the opposition, dubbed or called the micro minority, led by Honorable Afenyo Market. Now, I wouldn't want to ask any question because this is fun, you know. It's all about the national interest. If you ask me, the national interest should be the goal, the first goal. The national interest should be the first goal. Now let's look at this carefully. What has been the NDC's position ever since they took on this dress called reset? What has been their position? What have they done? Are they seeing progress, or are they seeing progress in whatever they are doing? What has been this position, this entrenched position by the opposition, trying to frustrate everything the John Mahama administration is doing? Is it going to help anybody, or is it going to help themselves? Are they making a good case for themselves? Look, today you hear this, tomorrow you hear that. Yesterday we heard Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah speaking about how the attack on illegal mining, or the attack on mining, the mining industry in our country would stifle investment. Then I had a problem with that. And today, let's see, the NDC's research agenda is a bloodless coup. From who? Says who? Akosua Menu. Who? No. What kind of conversations are we trying to generate? No. How? No. Explain. A bloodless word. Coup. Do you understand that word? Bloodless coup. Every decision the NDC has taken or have taken, is it justifiable? Is it? That's the first. Look, every time we used to say this. Common sense is the highest form of wisdom. Once it is not being applied, then it means that quote unquote there is some foolishness going on somewhere. Excuse my language. They said somebody has done something. You know what we are trying? John Mahama has suspended the Chief Justice. And the question is it justifiable? Is it lawful? Is that the first time? What did she do? And is it a sole decision by the president to take, or he took it in accordance with what the law says? Did he take it in consultation with the right people, just as the constitution, just as it has been stipulated in the constitution? Madam Akushia, where is this coming from? That the NDC's resetting agenda is a bloodless coup. No, look, this morning I'm reading from City News Online, and it says that Akushia Menu, a former New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for Adenta, has described the current political development under the Mahama administration as a bloodless coup. This is hell no, bro. Hell no. It holds no water. This cannot hold any water. No. This is a low blow. You shouldn't be doing this at your level. Look, you should be doing better than this. Politics can never stand alone in our country. It should stand with common sense. Doing politics should come with common sense. It should. It should. Look, in any case, I have not heard anybody say that John Mahama just stood up and said, hey, go. But it is on the basis of series of petitions. As we speak, 5 people have petitioned that she has misbehaved, in quotes. That the CJ, during his tenure at the Supreme Court, has misbehaved on several occasions, to the extent that she was able to put somebody in the cells, a police officer who was also a lawyer as well, that you put that person in jail or in prison for a night without hearing the person, giving that person a fair hearing. Now, once the person went to church to go and check, we came back looking for the write-ups on the day in a court. It was not found. Nothing to show for. No records to determine that yes, indeed, this man has been jailed or has been in prison. Subsequently, she has even gone wrong or foul to the extent that she went on a vacation with the family members on the expense or on the expense of the taxpayer. Is it justifiable? Plus series of other petitions, and then if this person is being suspended, you say that it's a bloodless coup. Look, let's read from her own mouth. She says that the Ghanaians' loss of confidence in the judiciary is not something that happened under the NPP administration. Look at the historical antecedents of the killing of those judges. So that dastardly incident happened. Public outrage was against the judiciary. So at no point has there been absolute confidence in our judiciary. How can previous presidents serve as a case study in today's democracy? Meanwhile, you are the same person claiming that democracy in our system is growing. You people claimed, NPP, during your tenure, you claim that everything should be taken to court. Hey, during your tenure, during that 8 years of Nanado's administration, even if a pin falls down, you people tell us that go to court. So if you have no confidence in the judiciary of this country, why would you then direct us to the court? If you have no confidence in us, in the judiciary, why then did you direct every Ghanaian go to court? Every time, go to court. Every time, go to court. To the extent that it got to a point where we were going to vote prior to the 2020 elections. What did you tell us? You told us that the Ghana card, without the Ghana card, the birth set is not enough to guarantee us a vote or to guarantee us a voter's ID card. You still directed the NDC to go to the judiciary to find for their own justice, in quote. If you knew that the adjudication system is poor or is on a dwindle or is plummeting in a very faster pace, why then do you direct us to that place? And today you come out, you are out of government and are telling us that the confidence level in the judiciary has been dwindling. How does that help us? What did you do? However, in any case, CJ, is she above the law? In any case, is she above the law? Then you move on and you tell us that when the NPP comes, they come and make things better. But when the NDC comes, they try and make things worse. And we are seeing it. For some time now, lights do not stay on. Prices of goods are going up. They are sacking people from the other. Is that a conversation on the table? Look, I want to think about it, but Charlie, this one you can't think about it. It is not going to help us. This better mature conversations, mediocre conversation, inept discussions like this should not be tolerated. Why? No, what do you seek to achieve? We were in this country, the opposition at the time, the NDC, fought and fought with their last blood that the e-levy should not be implemented. What did you do? You maneuvered your way into implementing it. What was the outcome? The anti-LGBTQ bill that was presented to the president for 8 to 9 solid good months. It was on the table of the president. The president at the time could not find his pen until he left office. He has still not found his pen. And you are here. This is somebody claiming that rule of law, the democracy. I pray to we. What kind of look? Under your watch, a lot of discrepancies have happened. We just woke up one day and one minister for roads and highways claims that all how do we call it, road tolls should be abolished because a forcefully implemented levy called the e-levy has been implemented. Today, you people are the same people claiming that you uphold rule of law, and you people are democratic enough. Shit. Excuse my language. We don't do that. Look, this kind of conversation should be swept under the look. She moves on and added that. So the reset is the blackness coup. That is what we should call it. It has nothing to do with the deepening democracy of governance. Because why would the national security operatives go to someone's house without a warranty and ransack? Is this something the NPP has never done? Hello, Madam Akosia Menu. Is this something the NPP has never done? Come out and respond. Tell us we are lying. Tell us. Tell us. Let's move on to the more profitable story. This story is nothing to profit us. It has nothing to give us. Like for real, you ask yourself that you want to move forward and somebody is sitting behind, pulling us behind. We are reading from graphic business. Somebody claiming that there is no researching agenda going on. There is a proper researching agenda going on. I'm telling you today, in our next story will prove that there is a certain researching agenda going on. Look, for the first time, we are hearing from the Trees Crops Development Authority. Trees Crops Development Authority. Look, if you like, take your microphones around, move to the market center, ask them whether they know that this authority exists. Ask them. It is not working, but today we are hearing from them. Now let's find out what they have for us. They are saying that businesses will need a permit to export unprocessed rubber, cashew, and shea nuts or shea from May 2nd. Businesses will need a permit to export unprocessed rubber, cashew, and shea from May 2nd. Is that good news or not? We've been claiming that our balance of payment deficit is nothing to write home about. Our balance of payment, look, it is serious. It is one of the major components helping the dollar to continue to have that value as compared to our CD. If you're always exporting, we are not importing anything. In that makeshift, it is not in an equilibrium. It's not working. We are always bringing things in. We are bringing things in as compared to the things we are taking out. The things we even take out has no value. Now let's look into it. Let's look into the major stories. It says that beginning May 2nd, 2025, all businesses and individuals engaged in the export of unprocessed rubber, cashew or shea from Ghana must first obtain written authorization from the Tree Crops Development Authority into bracket TCDA in line with new regulatory measures announced by the authority. New regulatory what? Measures, resetting and research and papa no enu nie it says that in a public notice issued and signed by the chief executive officer of the TCDA, Mr. Andy Osei Okra, the authority underscored its legal mandates under the Tree Crops Development Authority Act 2019, Act 1010, and Tree Crops Regulations 2023 LI 2471 to regulate and develop the production, processing, and trading of key tree crops, including rubber, cashew, shea, mango, coconut, and oil palm. That should tell you that there are steps being taken to begin to add value, to begin to move these from primary production to the secondary or tertiary production levels, which will have diverse effects on our economy. Very soon, things are going to be changed. So if you hear the NPP claiming that there is no research agenda going on, and then it is a target to them. Look, it is only the wrongdoer who run away from change. It is only the wrongdoer when the system is being drafted in a way that it favors only the fool. In quote. In quote. Look, I'm reading from the letter being published by the TCDA. It says that this directive deserves to inform. This directive serves to inform all actors and entities involved in the export of unprocessed rubber, cashew, and shea of their obligation to comply with the provisions of the Tree Crops Regulations 2023 LI 2471. The notice stated. This is not, look, as we speak today, the Minerals Commission, right, is also finding a way to make sure that any Ghanaian is eligible to engage in the buying and selling of gold with proper directions. No foreigner is now allowed to do buy and sell. If you want to buy, unless you go to the commission directly. The CEO too, you know him, the young Sami Demfi. So these are stories for me, and so if you hear them, the NPP, instead of them bringing more insight to how the nation should be built, given that they were given the opportunity to build and they were not able to, I expect them to be able to appreciate the growth. However, what have they done? The usual politics. Look, enough of this. Let's move on to sports. We are talking about the title race. The saddest part. Look, when Coach Ogum was coming, right? Everybody was making noise. Oh, second. They forgot that every second coming is dangerous. And for me, I foresaw this. I foresaw it. So if I hear Coach Karim Zito making a lot of noise, being optimistic about this, look, let's read. He says that the title race is not over. Hey, Coach Karim Zito, why have you seen something we've not seen? So the stopgap Asante Kotoko coach Karim Zito is not giving up on the title race with 6 games left until the end of the season. Look, it is BBN goal size title to lose. The ball is in their court. Look, 6 matches, 18 points can change a lot. Zito, I'm going with him. And who will be a who ya na Charlie? Is this something we've not seen? Because this is our own. This game is look the Kotoko I watched last week. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same midfield being anchored by Blay. Look, Blay's legs are gone. And I do. The day I'll be surprised to see Blay making any change. In the last few weeks, we were praising Samba Onel. that he is the best defender, central defender, and whatever, blah blah blah. Playing to look, the Kotoko boys have this sweet thing in their head. A DTO team, they can't work with any serious coach. If you ask me, they don't even deserve to be wearing the porcupine shirt. They don't, because if you are wearing that shirt, oh, and you begin to make noise. Hey, the coach is screaming on that. The coach is not treating us. You think football is a fair game? You think football is a fair game for you to be sitting down with this baby head? Look, he says that Coach Karim Zito in his press conference, so it is not over until it is over. We are Kasehunu. I'm not sure. Kasehunu. I know we will play against those at the top, so we will fight until the end. Go and play with them and let's see the outcome. You see, their best against the top 3 teams in this league will be a draw. Take it or leave it. Their next game, they are meeting Adriana, and that game, they are going to lose that game. Look, that thing called the new coach, new manager syndrome won't work. They are going to lose this weekend too. And that is where Otumfo will know that these boys are not fit for purpose when it comes to Kotoko. They aren't ready. Look, Zito's first encounter in the dugout is a Premier League match at home against Indiana. In America, Indiana na no ne kunu ne kunu mu bread that won wo pe wa bo. Indiana, share. Be that be playing. Think we are going to play U20, you what? Share. Nana, open things up. Let's move forward. We are back into England and we are talking about Manchester United and their Rashford problem. That Rashford thing, Rashford now who the problem? You know, look, he's a decent player by our standards. So I want to believe that in his last few games, he has justified the interview he made before he was being transferred on loan to Aston Villa, that he needed a new challenge. For one, I think that his standard is the Aston Villa standard. Because if you ask me, look, Rashford coming back won't help Manchester United. Look, on a normal ground, don't take Marcus Rashford's performance with Villa thinking he will come back and do something special. No way. No way. No. He won't do anything special. So Rashford doubt he will play for Manchester United again and Amorim or Uncle. He should go. Rashford can never survive under Amorim. The Amorim kind of football won't suit Rashford. And to run away from all problems, he should stay with Unai Emery. Since Unai Emery wants to keep him. Look, Rashford has been decent in the last few games, if you ask me. He has been very decent. He has even succeeded in benching Oli Watkins in some of the games. Right? So let's see. Unai Emery has been cautioned about discussing Rashford's future at the club. I understand. Look, Rashford, his money is big. Paying Rashford on a yearly allowance. Look, on a yearly basis, it would be very expensive for a club like Aston Villa who are trying to manage their expenses. Look, take it or leave it. They have the money from John Durham's sales, right? But I want to believe that they use that money in purchasing players from on loan. So from the likes of Asensio, Rashford himself. But you see, having a player on loan and having the player on a permanent basis are two different conversations. Rashford, I don't think he should even dream of coming back. I personally think that the best thing that could ever happen to Marcus Rashford is stay with Aston Villa as they seek to find a spot in the Champions League again. He should just work hard and force the team to stay in the Champions League spot so that next season he can play for them. Right? But if Aston Villa does not make it into the Champions League, Aston Villa themselves will begin to rethink. Keeping this man here, what will be the outcome? What will be the benefit to our side? Because already we bought Marlin from Dortmund, right? If even if they would want to keep Rashford, then it means that they would have to dish out some of their players too, because they have a bloated squad. Take it or leave it. They have a very bloated squad on the basis of they have a lot of loanees in the squad. So if you want to do some good proper business, which I want to believe, Unai Emery is not that kind of a manager who would just have a bloated squad with it. He would want to work with a very decent squad on a daily basis. And you see how Aston Villa are fighting. Look, thrashing Newcastle 4-1 is not a joke. It is not. So let's read from Unai Emery in his last post-match conference. He says that I'm so happy with him, that's Marcus Rashford. And he said that he's performing very well. His adaptation has been quick and his commitment to the process is really important for us and for him. He needs to keep going, and on Saturday, hopefully, he can play again. On Saturday, the FA Cup is also approaching. So let's see what happens. Now back to Ansu Fati. Can he be the rejected stone? This is a player who was brought up from the academy and named as one of the next game changers for the Catalonia side. But what has happened? He has tried to find his feet. And you see, at some point, I felt like he was getting this sweet-headed caliber of person. Playing football is not about feeling good. Oh. That is one of the things that have kept people like Ronaldo in the game. Feeling good is not enough. Show working. Look, when the going gets tough, that is when you begin to see the likes of Ronaldo showing that yes, these are better players. Ansu, you have never been up there. You were just fortunate that an average player playing for a big club like Manchester, like FC Barcelona, and therefore you will be at the top. When you got to Brighton, that should have been the wake-up call for you. However, you didn't. You were still dreaming that you could make it. Look, at Brighton, you were not able to take away Mitoma to the bench. You still kept warming the bench. Clearly, you're an average player. You just need to show a lot more commitment. You just have to work hard. And I want to believe that Hansi Flick has a lot of goodwill for you. You are going to pick it up. Time's out for your work that you did last night. Look, against Maruka, you were decent. Not so much good because the fans have already missed you for a chunk of the season. For a whole season, you played just 2 games. And I know you will be thinking again, should I stay? Look, Ansu staying at Barcelona will be good for him if and only if he's ready to warm the bench and then fight for a spot. This is where we end our reaction for today, and I am Kajiko. Please don't forget to click on the subscription button. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.